Hi, I'm Mack, and I'm on a mission to see the hurting get healed and the healed go out and heal others, in order for all of us to experience the true love and light we desire. This podcast is me sharing my journey with you, so you don't feel alone in your journey. Welcome to the Golden Rule Revolution. Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome back to another episode of the Golden Rule Revolution. I am Mack. Thank you for joining. How are you doing? What is happening in your world? There's, quite frankly, so much going on that it's ridiculous. A buddy of mine who's high ranking in the military, and he's going through the process of religious exemption right now. We had a discussion yesterday, and I said, how do we know what we know? We know what we know if it's not first person experience. And I don't remember what episode of podcast it is, and I recommend everyone go find it. But your experience first person is the only thing that you really know. Anything other than that, and I mean anything, doesn't matter if you've seen it on the news or was told about it from someone else. It's not first person information. It's not first person experience. And a man with an experience is never at the mercy of a man with an argument. So I was talking to my buddy, and I said, how do we actually know what we know? For instance, what if the world has fallen apart at an apocalyptic level, but the media keeps showing us looped images like everything's normal, everything's what we see or what we perceive? How do we know that whole continents of people haven't been wiped out? How would we know that or not know that? This was the question that I was talking to him about. And this morning I sent him a clip. A live webcam in Italy shows an empty square in a town, yet it's filled with protesters. They don't want you to know. So the people are showing the empty clip. I don't know if I can. So that are, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening, I'm showing all the people in the square, this guy on his phone, but then he shows the actual website, and it shows live cam, an empty square, like no one's there. So they have erased, there it is. He's about to show it. The live webcam that no one is there in the square. Like a few people are walking around, but no protests. So how would you know what you know is true, real, and valid? And how would you know what you believe is actually truth versus propaganda? And if it was the case, if it were to be the case that what you believe to be true and real is not a reality whatsoever, but a manufactured, programmed reality for you to believe. Let's say that's the case. Let's say everything that you believe about the world has been given to you by someone else, either through a screen, a book, or a narrative passed along to you, besides that which you've experienced with your own eyes. What if you found out it was a lie? How would that make you feel? And what would you do about that? This is an incredibly important grouping of questions to ask yourself and answer, because it doesn't matter if you're a truth seeker and you're down rabbit holes like myself, and you go all the way and you are looking at all the different theories and all the different questions that are out there, which, by the way, that's healthy for anyone that's on the fence of like, I don't know, or conspiracy theories have been proven to be reality every 6 months. They're about 6 months behind, getting to be about 3 months behind. Not all of them, obviously, but many. And that is not a term to be discrediting anyone, for quite frankly. However, even if you knew as much as you know, and you go in and you actually are intentional to do the research, intentional to go on uncensored search engines or different things, even with that, even with the Great Awakening map, which I have back here, who Champ designed it from 5D Awakening Consciousness, even studying all that, do you think that is the truth? Meaning the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help us God. The answer is then must be a conclusive no. That is not the full picture of the truth. So then, if it's not the full picture of the truth, or it's not the truth, it's not the whole truth. And I asked you if you found out what you believed, which was passed on to you from media or someone else's book, was not true. And how would you feel and what would you do about it? And we already can say that there's no way to know the entire truth of it all. And if you've listened to me for any amount of time, truth makes us free. Love allows truth to come forth, resulting in our personal freedom. But this is the kicker. The Matrix wants you to seek truth in the Matrix, in the world, outside yourself. But the free person, the sovereign being, the free man and woman, child who goes within and looks at themselves in light of what everyone else is doing, what everyone else is saying, and is honest about why you and I behave the way we behave, why we think the way we think, why we believe what we believe, why do we act the way we act, why do we react the way we react, why? The person who asks why about all the questions within is the person closest to the truth. Because truth, my dear brothers and sisters, if always sought without, can never be found. Yes, there are truths, and certainly those truths free us to think skeptically and not believe the narrative and not believe the propaganda and not believe all this bullshit, this COVID bullshit and all of it. And anyone triggered right now, I have countless clips showing fake bodies like mannequins, CRP mannequins or CPR mannequins in hospital beds where the news shows all these people and it just goes quickly over. It pans over it, 3 seconds of the shot, boom. Doesn't give you time, but if you freeze frame it, it is fake. We're living in a fake reality. So the truths can break you from believing the Matrix, but the truth to free yourself is only found within. And asking the question why brings you to the truth. They say, you want to know what's really going on? Follow the money. Because money is very similar to truth. Why? Because you cannot, I was going to say you cannot manipulate money. You can manipulate money and the fiat dollar and digital. But I'm saying, let's just take God's money, precious metals. It is exactly what it is. So that's why the love of money is the root of all evil, because love is a hava, to give. So to give everything for money outside of yourself is the root of all evil, because EVIL is the inversion of LIVE. So truth is within. Asking why leads to the truth within. And what I say is where love is present, love in unconditional and infinite love is present. It allows truth to feel safe enough to come out. So what truths and truth have you not expressed to yourself and to the world? What truths have you convinced yourself of that it's just the way it is, that you wouldn't be the person you are today without going through that painful experience, which is true. And it's not liberating truth, because the real truth is, if you were the little you right before you right now, would you do the exact same thing that they did to you in the past to the little you right now? Would you do it? The answer is yes, then fine. But if the answer is no, then it's not the truth to say, that's just the way it was. I wouldn't be who I was today if I hadn't gone through that. The truth for that child that you once were is, I would never allow that to happen to that child, to any child, nor to myself. You see, when we come from the place of truth, but not truth as the primary, but love as the primary, when we can look at ourselves in love and say, given the opportunity to do the exact same thing, would I do that? Would I beat myself with a bullwhip? Would I molest myself? Would I do these things to myself? No. And I wouldn't allow anyone to do that to anyone else. But it wasn't until I could get honest with myself, the molestings, the beatings, a lot of horrible things, and get honest with these things happen to me, and they caused me to react, behave, think, and believe a certain way. And that way, like many, like most, like every person I coach and encounter, are not free. Why? Because we haven't yet fully gone to the raw, vulnerable truth, not from our accepting experiences, but from unconditional and infinite love through the eyes of God himself, to look at that child and say, I would do anything and everything to set you free. And I would never allow those things to happen to you. When we can get vulnerable and tell the truth within, we finally can experience the freedom without. Because here's the deal. We are at war right now. I've talked about the spiritual war, and it's almost becoming more than a spiritual war. Everything's spiritual. Obviously, the Bible says that for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and wickedness and rulers in high places, and principalities, and rulers of high places. But that's a wrestling. There's already kinetic energy. The communists who have infiltrated the minds, the hearts, the belief structures, everything, they hate reflective truth. They hate a sovereign God. They hate sovereign choice. They hate kindness, compassion, freedom, liberty, beauty, goodness. They want to strip it all away and make everyone comply to serve the state. And the proletariat class, which we're seeing, the federal government in the United States is the largest employer in the United States. 20% of Americans work for the federal government. Think of that. That's already the proletariat class. I want to strip it all away, strip freedom, just don't think anymore. Don't think how to think. Don't learn how to think, but just do what we say. And we, the people who are healed, healing, and about to heal, walking in sovereignty, saying yes to that which we say yes to, and saying no to that which we say no to. And there is no in between. There is no coercion. There's nothing you can do to compel a sovereign being to move against their will. This is the enemy of the communistic satanic influence that is the opposing side of this war. And so what we find ourselves in are people who keep getting allured into the matrix truths that free them from the matrix, but have yet to go in and free themselves from the bondage, the pain, the shackles, the trauma, the embarrassments, the ego, the the trying to look good, trying to please others. People pleasing is the death of the free man. Do you understand? I want you to hear me. People pleasing is the death of free humanity. It doesn't matter what someone else thinks of you or me. It matters, is the little child that you once were able to flourish within you? Because Jesus says, unless you come to me as little children, you may not enter the kingdom of heaven. What does that mean? It means that we have to heal the child within. We have to go in and be honest of what happened to us. The majority of humanity has been sexually abused, beaten, raped, molested. And this is just in the everyday human, and not to mention the human trafficking, the disappearing children, all the evil and wickedness that happens in this world, all the fact that the satanic temples all over the world. I mean, let's not play around. We are in a war, and you, my dear brother and dear sister, my soul family, the light workers of this realm, you are here to shine so brightly. And yet I understand it has been so heavy. It's been so heavy. It's heavy. Cowardice. To be around cowardice is heavy. To be around compliance is heavy. So we rest, we recover, and then we come back out. We revive. Because I do believe there's coming a movement. It has to come on the other side of this, and it's going to get worse. Stock up with food, water, batteries, supplies, because you don't want to be caught in the chaos and the fray. Stock up with things to keep you safe and protect your family. But on the other side of this war, this battle for the soul of humanity, this battle for the sovereign mindset of the human being, this battle by these bullies that want to intimidate you, and you have to find the grit to stand there and look them in the eye and say, back the fuck up, get away from me, stand down. By whatever authority you need, the Most High God, in the name of Jesus, say it. To my brothers and sisters of any other religion, I will say this. I love it. I study Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism. I even read the Quran. The Satanists hate the name of Jesus more than anything. They hate the right-hand path. They hate Christians. They call them hypocrites. They think you're weak. And it's up to you to not prove to anyone else what you are. It is for you to go within, ask those questions, why you behave, react, think, believe, and see the world the way you see it. And if you can say, I have freed myself from this matrix realm so that I can go within and heal myself and speak truth for that child of whatever that child experienced, then sure, you can say you're free. But if you can't do that yet, it's time to do the inner work. And I will share this. I think this is important. This is coming up right now. There is not an institution worthy of you defending on this planet. Not a church, not an organization. Nothing that you have belonged to, do belong to, or will belong to is worthy of you defending it. The truth does not need to be defended, and it never needs to be marketed. So whatever allegiance or alliance or this like tug on you that you feel to protect whatever it is that you were raised in, all that stems from people pleasing. All that stems from you, if you were truly honest, saying, I don't want to disappoint my parents or my family structure or whatever structure it is. The free and sovereign soul says, I could give it all up. I don't care about anything. All I care about is my whole being set free in love and truth, sovereignty, beauty, and goodness. That's where the Spirit of the Lord is. There's liberty. It's because where love is present, truth will come forth and it will set us free. It will make us free. Your progressive, if speaking to those on the left, I guess, your progressive ideology is you're being used by the Satanists. They don't care about you. You're not a trillionaire. You're not one of the 13 ruling families. You're not even a billionaire, but yet you put so much energy to deconstruct truth, beauty, and goodness. It's a waste of energy. To the communist pro face covering and forced manipulation to take a medical procedure that is none of your damn business. They don't care about you at all. You can be sued. They can't be sued. The pharmaceutical companies, they're immune to all this. They don't care. All they want to do is make money. Look how much money they have made. Follow the money. You are doing the work. You are about to become the grease to the treads of the tanks that will roll over you. They don't care about you. Look at the French Revolution. The French Revolution kept having another revolution. Robespierre, who started the French Revolution, was beheaded by the people in the French Revolution because they always eat their own, which is where Martin Niemöller, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Aryan nationalist, German nationalist, wrote himself in a concentration camp because they finally came for him. He thought he was playing along with this national socialism, like, hey, we're all in this together. All of a sudden they're like, wait, you don't agree with this? You're thrown in. And he wrote in a concentration camp, first they came for the Bolsheviks. I said nothing because it's not a Bolshevik. Then they came for the trade unionists. I said nothing because it's not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. I said nothing because it's not a Jew. And when they came for me, there was no one left to speak. That is very applicable to you today if you're on the left-hand path. I see the comments. I had someone tell me that I'm fear-mongering and causing fear, and I'm diluting my message because I'm talking fear. You know what? It doesn't matter what you say. I am a sovereign being, and I am here on this planet to help every other person who desires and seeks their sovereignty to find it, to heal. And getting back to the reality of what you believe, when I just showed you this Italian square, they're protesting live, and he's showing what the Matrix is showing everyone at home, the reality that it didn't exist. It's not there. So if all your information comes from the news, someone who came from the news, and knows a lot of people in the news world, journalism, stop watching the news. It is an abusive industry to those who work in it, and is certainly an abusive frequency to those who are addicted to it. And you're addicted to it. If you're watching the news, there's an addiction. You're going to have a detox period where you're going to want to look, you're going to want to listen, you're going to want to look at those, and you're like, he's good. It doesn't matter. It's the frequency that you're hooked to, and you're not getting the whole truth. And how do you know how you're not getting the whole truth? Because what are they not talking about? It's not what they do talk about. It's what they don't talk about. That's why humanity is stuck in this loop. It's what's not being spoken about. Of course, they're saying things that you're going to agree with. They have to, because they're a business and they're selling a product, and you as the consumer are buying the product to come back the very next day and buy the product again so they can sell your eyeballs to advertisers and tell advertisers they don't care who you are. They care how many of you are watching or online engaging so they can sell their ads. That's all it is. It's just a business. It's not some nonprofit altruistic world. It is a business selling your captured attention to advertisers. But it is not what they say. It is what they do not say. You want to end child pedophilia? Then demand that the news reports on it until it is done. But they never will. It's not what they say, it's what they don't say. And Dietrich Bonhoeffer, another German Lutheran pastor who was the last person that Adolf Hitler was ordered to be executed before Hitler died, or not, said in the concentration camp, not to speak is to speak, not to act is to act. And Brad Ballard, a guy who I've had on the podcast before, he said, what you permit, you promote. What you permit, you promote. What you're complicit to, you have given you advocate for. Your silence is not a virtue. And I don't need you to agree with me. I need you to speak as a whole sovereign being for your own point of view, your own worldview. Because when you do, you make the world a better place and enhance it. It is seasoning. And there's a tremendous amount of different seasonings to make the meal more robust for the experience. It's not that I just want salt and pepper. I want oregano and thyme and rosemary, whatever. You get it. Your sovereign point of view, untriggered and able to speak clearly, helps the world become a better place. We shouldn't have lockstep agreement. We should have ideas and ask questions and think clearly and be free. But the communists do not want you to be free, nor do they want you to think for yourself, nor do they want you to have an opinion. They want you to cover your face, do what you're told, give up all your sovereign God-given rights as a human being created to have dominion on this earth and steward the garden well and love one another and provide for one another and give to one another and love and kindness and truth, beauty and goodness. They don't want any of that. They want the machine fed with your slave labor, your slave mind and your slave soul. And this machine can never be satiated. It's why you've never worked enough hours to be like, oh, I did it. Nope. Machine says, nope. Tomorrow, bills are due. Nope. Tomorrow, taxes are due. Nope. Tomorrow, another thing's due. There's never enough. You can't perform enough to break out of that. It has to be an internal job where you heal, where you tell the truth, where you actually stop protecting family members and stop protecting family structures and care more about your freedom than you do anything and everything else. Caring more about your freedom than you do anything and everything else, even if people say that's selfish, you're damn right it is. You're damn right it's selfish. What do you think this world is? Not a lamb to the slaughter. I'm not one of the foolish boys that go to Pleasure Island in Pinocchio. You're damn right. I'm freaking a wise sovereign being, and I'm trying to make other wise sovereign beings. Because is it selfish to be alive and to hold the light? It would be more selfish to let the light out and walk in darkness. It's a matter of perspective. Abraham Lincoln has a quote. Oh, man, this book is so good. I don't know where the book is, but I did a podcast about it. He says, the sheep cry out to the shepherd. So the shepherd comes and drives the wolf from the sheep, for which the wolf decries the shepherd as the one who abolishes freedom. And the sheep thank the shepherd as the one who protects their freedom. Two different perspectives. So getting to that selfish comment, yeah, people could say that it doesn't matter. People pleasing, getting rid of that nasty disease within the soul of humanity to please another, to think that I will be safe if I continually please, is a slave mindset that must be healed. And the only way to heal is to to tell the truth of all your experience and care more about your freedom than you do what other people, even your own parents or brothers, sisters, friends, family, think of you. It takes courage. It takes vulnerability. I define vulnerability as having the courage to experience love in its purest form. Love's on the other side of you telling the truth. Freedom's on the other side of you telling the truth. But you got to go there. You got to share it. You got to say it. You got to think it. You got to feel it. So we're in this right now. And I hope this blesses you. I hope it blesses you. You are not alone. You were not made to be a slave. You are not made to serve a government structure. You are not made to feel less than anyone else. You are made to go through the experiences you've gone through so that you can know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And the truth is, love allows your truth to come forth, resulting in your freedom. And God, who is love, will be there instantaneously to make you free, to heal those wounds. So you hold no charge to the abuser. You hold no charge to those, because you realize, had I grown up in their shoes, I'd just be like them. And thank God that you are the cycle breaker, so that the future generations will learn from you, so we don't have to pass this on any longer. Brothers and sisters, I bless you. I love you. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe, download, like, rate this podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We got to drive the numbers up. We got to get this message out. I've been shadow banned for so long. You can go back and look. I was getting 10,000 views. I was getting a lot of views, and all of a sudden they shut me down. But it's okay, because those faithful few that find it, this is for you. It's not about quantity. It's about the quality. It's about the purity of light. So I love you all. I bless you all. I'm Lucas Mack, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for listening. For support in your journey, go to my website, lucasmack.com.